Hello, Rams fans, and welcome to this installment of Great Moments in Rams History. I'm Rob Cunningham, Director of Athletic Communications at Thomas Jefferson University. Today, we're going to talk about the 2011 CACC Championship in cross country, and focusing on the CACC record set by our guest today, Sarah Simonetti. Sarah, thank you very much for joining me.
Welcome.
So first off, let's give us a quick update on how you're doing during the pandemic and what you're up to these days.
Doing pretty well. Still working. I work as a surgical tech at a same-day surgery center in Florida. Still running. I'm still racing. I actually just ran a 5K yesterday, pushing a double stroller with my kids in it. And I won my age group, won a little award, and had some fun with them. So I'm still out there racing. Kind of keeps me doing what I'm doing, and it's a lot of fun.
Very good. Good to hear you're still running. So let's go back to your senior year in 2011. You accomplished nearly everything you could have entering that year already. If you bear with me for just a second, you qualified for the NCAA National Championship meet in 2009. You were all-region 3 times. You won the CACC Championship in 2010, Rookie of the Year in 2008. You even had an all-academic team selection thrown in there. And the team had captured the CACC title all 3 years at that point. So that all being said, what were your goals entering your final season?
Definitely getting the team to the championships all 4 years is a big goal. I definitely couldn't have done it without the help and support from Coach Thomas and the team. Had some really great girls on the team. Gabrielle and Christina and everyone on the team helped me get there. Again, just the goal is to get the team to win and have fun while we're doing it. I had some time goals of my own that weren't nearly as important, but again, just getting the team there and getting past. I wanted to get to nationals, which I did. That was a big goal of mine the last year. I kind of pushed through IT band syndrome. I wasn't really running much at all the whole year. I had practices with Dave Thomas at 9:30, 10 o'clock at night after all my classes were done in the pool, because I literally was not running more than 10 miles a week leading up to nationals that last year, because that IT band syndrome was so bad that when after nationals, when I went back to the doctor, I had a stress fracture in my femur. I was on crutches for quite a while. But like I said, I just wanted to get there, wanted the team to win, wanted to make it through the season and have a good year. So
that's very interesting considering how you did that year. As the season started and you got through the first few meets, you had some solid performances. You won the Philly Metro Championship and had a couple other top 10 finishes. How were you feeling physically during those initial few weeks? You talked about the issues you were having.
To be honest, I don't quite remember exactly when the pain got really, really bad. I know most of that season I was not up to running the mileage I should have been. I was excited for the season. I knew it wouldn't stop me. At the same time, I pushed through and wasn't going to take no for an answer. I wanted to make it to nationals no matter what, because I had previously made it to nationals and didn't quite do as well as I wanted to do. So it was my senior year. I wanted to do the best I could. I don't quite remember I do remember lots of team practices too, where I just wasn't quite running as much as everyone else. But again, I'd meet Coach Thomas later at night in the pool. Other than that, I was feeling excited and motivated.
Well, a week before the CACC Championship, you actually broke your school record in the 5K. You ran 18:46 at the CTC Championships. Did that provide a confidence boost for you that you were where you needed to be heading into the conference meet?
Yeah, for sure. That and the motivation from my coach, because he was with me on the side of the pool every step of the way and kind of coaching me and mentally coaching me. And, cross country is more, I think 70, if not more % mental of a sport. And having that support from him mentally through the whole season was really big. And also the motivation from my team and their support and knowing that I could do it. It's definitely really motivational.
You mentioned you weren't running as much during the week leading up to meets. What was your training like that week going into CACCs?
I mean, a couple months before CAC, like the whole end of the season, I really wasn't running more than maybe once on land a week. Every night after cross country, after school, after like 9:30 at night, I was in that pool. I remember Coach Thomas was like running alongside at the side of the pool, like yelling out, "You're coming down the home stretch." You're like very, very good at mentally coaching me and getting me through that and making sure I knew I could do it, because I knew I could do it. I've had all those years. It's on a slight injury like that doesn't take away all your experience.
Now, you had won the year before, so what was your race strategy? Was it any different than it had been the year prior?
No, honestly, and it's still kind of the same today. I just when I hear that gun and in the beginning, I just go and I mean, I look up to a lot of big, like, good runners, and I read quotes before races too. Like Steve Prefontaine was a big one. I would always usually like post a lot of quotes before big meets just to get the team motivated. Even now, I like look back on my Time Hop app, and before big races, like one came up the day you scheduled the interview that I wrote down. It was before a big Paul Short meet invitational, and it said, "What matters is not necessarily the size of the dog in the fight. It's the size of the fight and the dog that matters." And that's by Dwight D. Eisenhower. Like I said, it's a mental sport for sure. And getting those motivational quotes and those words from your team and coach go a long way.
Now, take me through the race itself. You won by more than a minute. So how did you carry out your strategy during the run, and when did you begin to pull away?
Again, big props to Dave Thomas again for just coaching me and having me realize when it's time to go and keeping pacing. He was very good with teaching me how to pace, which I honestly am not as good at today anymore. So I missed that. But he was there. My parents were there. Everyone was there cheering me on and letting me know if I started to get slower, started to speed up, letting me know, like, as I was going. And he was always there, standing in his suit and fedora as we were going into the woods, calling out times, letting us know, like, whether we were 1 second behind or 3 seconds ahead going into the woods in the first mile. He'd let us know, like 3 different locations, where we stood in the race. And, if I wasn't where I was supposed to be, he'd let me know for sure. So.
Now, right away, you knew you won the race, but at what point did you realize you'd broken the CACC record?
I probably honestly didn't know that until later. I'm not one of those runners that stands with the clock and every time they pause stops the clock or anything. It was definitely a pleasant surprise, and I knew I could do it. And it was definitely a goal of mine. I just didn't know it at that second until I was told.
No, your great season didn't stop there. You took third at the regional championship. You earned your 4th all-region honor, qualified for the nationals for the 2nd time. So you still hold the CACC record. Nobody's come within 13 seconds of that time of 18:43 since. You also still hold the school records in both the 5K and the 6K. When you look back on all of your accomplishments as a Ram, which one stands out the most to you?
Definitely getting the team to a 4-time championship. And also making it to nationals twice is a good one too. But I just I'd wanted to do a little bit better at nationals that 2nd time than I did. But I'm still very happy with my accomplishments.
Do you have all of your awards on display anywhere?
Most of my ones from Pennsylvania, I'm in Florida now, so most of the ones from Pennsylvania are not they're actually like in boxes in my dad's garage. I do have the races I've run here kind of pinned up on a big blanket, just all the numbers, just in the times, just to keep me motivated a little bit. And I have all the medals wrapped that I've gotten here so far on a little hook in my room, but doesn't quite show it all.
As mentioned, Sarah's CACC record time of 18:43.21 still stands today. It smashed the previous mark of 19:23.29 set in 2007. She remains the only Ram to be named CACC Runner of the Year multiple times and the only student athlete in program history to qualify for the national championships. Sarah, thank you very much for joining me. Hope you had a good time flashing back to your senior year.
Thank you very much.